Coming to you live from the new studio here at Harrison headquarters, we are the Spandex Standups.
I feel like that is the top news today.
Yes,
In
the
wrestling
studio
is we have an incredible studio here, guys, at Harrison Media, Harrison headquarters.
Doesn't it just feel good?
Dude, I just got to say,
Thank you. I've put some
this
blood, sweat,
is
and tears
awesome.
into.
This is awesome.
Yes,
I don't know if you guys can see,
yes.
but this whole thing, even behind this camera that I'm pointing at, more studio there. Right over there, more studio over there. This whole thing, whole space.
Got
turned into
3
a
podcasts
studio.
currently housed in the studio. We're looking for more, so let us know.
And what are those podcasts? Tell them up top.
Oh, check out, of course, the lovely Spandex Stand-Ups. We love having you here talking all things wrestling. Right here behind this wall, we have the Bubbles and Hardbody Show. My wife is a retired morning radio DJ, so I had to get her behind the microphone again. So that is that show. And then in that corner by my desk where all the editing magic happens is going to be a new show coming to you on this YouTube channel where you see your clips. It's going to be Dose of Nostalgia. So I might have a couple, you might see Evan on a couple of those episodes. We're talking everything late 80s, 90s, and early 2000s.
Let's go. I love it.
Well, how'd you feel about, we've had a lot of wrestling since we've, how have your travels been? You've been all over the place.
A lot of travels. Where was I?
You did some road gigs. We covered the On the Road with Dusty, so we got that one down. Yep. And then you went to Jamaica. You had a little
I went to Jamaica, and now I'm a bit more tan. I was out in the sun. I didn't wear sunscreen one day, and I regret that. I'm now peeling a little bit. But I had a great time in Jamaica with my dad and brother. We went to the Hyatt Zilara, maybe.
Okay.
Montego Bay. Got to shout them out because we just had a blast, man.
We had
a blast. If you're looking for a place to go with your family, big groups, man, what a great time. And yeah, now I'm back. Very excited.
About to head on the road again, right? You stopped
Headed on the road again.
Record with us?
Cleveland Comedy Festival.
There you go.
This weekend, November 6th through the 9th.
Look at
Cleveland Comedy Festival. I'm doing shows Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Come check it out. Then, weekend before Thanksgiving, November, I believe, 21st, 22nd, around there, whatever that weekend is. Weekend before Thanksgiving in Chattanooga.
Look at you.
Hosting at the Comedy Catch.
You're going to be at the Catch? I love the Catch.
Hosting for Killer Bees, who is, from what I hear, a legend.
Yeah, dude.
And then after Thanksgiving, Vermont Comedy Festival.
Look at
so
you.
That's where you guys can all check me out between now and the rest of the year.
I love it, man. I'll be at the Comedian Discovery Show November 15th, so go check that out. I will be at Happen Chance in Nolensville on the 19th. And then I'm making a little North Carolina run in the first week of December. I'll be in Wilmington, North Carolina, Seneca, South Carolina, and everywhere in between.
Let's go. We're on the road. We're out here.
Look at that.
Spreading the good word.
Well, how'd you feel about Crown Jewel?
How'd I feel about Crown Jewel? I liked it, but also thought it might have been the weakest PLE of the year. Just
they kind of hit us with all the fun stuff up the top, you know?
They hit us with the fun stuff up top. I mean, they hit us with a swerve with, the victors of that match. And no, I mean, I thought it was good. There wasn't too much drama. So, I thought it was good. I thought it was a solid, again, we're back to just solid wrestling, which is great. You know, it's good wrestling.
You can't have surprises all the time.
I mean, compare this to anything in like 2016, 2017, and you're like, oh,
take it all day. Yeah.
But, compared
so many
to what
good
we've been
storylines
getting, you can tell that something bigger is brewing.
Oh, no doubt. And I love that kind of got some seeds dropped on Raw last night about those bigger things, but I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. New Bloodline takes down the OG Bloodline. Sami Zayn back in the mix.
Dude, Sami Zayn back in the mix, watching them come back together, watching things from, years ago be re-brought up. You just love to see it. You love the storytelling.
The long term, man. Wrestling fans don't forget, so stop treating us like we do.
Exactly. I know we're already kind of skipping ahead to what happened on Monday Night Raw, but Sami Zayn coming in and reminding Big Jim, Jim, who brought me into this family? Big Jim. Who brought me into this family?
My favorite part about all of them coming together is just the dialogue. Like
Yeah.
that's where we got not feeling Uzi. You know,
Yeah.
who else calls him Big Jim?
Right.
You know, like Sammy Uso. Like
Yeah.
I love it all. Man.
Yeah.
Then you got Jade and Bianca retaining. I think that's the right call right now, keeping
Right
the
call.
belts on them.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna have to see them. Little battle royal on Monday Night Raw. It almost came down to those two, and they kind of were like, "All right, I guess we're glad to do this." So we're gonna have to see them square off eventually. Because we have put them. You know, when they first got put in a tag team, everyone's mind was, "I can't wait for how they split them up."
Yeah, I mean, and you got Liv out here planting the seeds. Like eventually, she's going to stab you in the back. So again, I love to see what they're brewing in terms of people that are currently tag teams. Probably going to be wrestling at WrestleMania. And again, we see it coming.
Yeah.
It's predictable.
But
because of the way that it's being delivered to us, we love it. You can give us what we want and keep us happy.
Exactly.
All the way. You're not going to give us what we want and then we're done.
Just because it's predictable doesn't mean it's not the right thing, the right call to make.
Right.
So yeah, they're teaching wrestling fans how to have patience again.
Yeah.
And we needed it. We needed to relearn how to have patience.
Yeah.
Because everything we're like, what's happening now? What's happening now? No.
It's like you're telling me that this person's going to be in a relationship and then get into an affair with a different person and then all in 3 weeks?
Can you imagine trying to go back now and be like, look, trust me, the Bloodline storyline, 4 years.
I need 4 years.
But it's going to be
I
entertaining.
need 4 years of...
Any wrestling fan in their right mind in 2020 would be like, nah.
For 4 years, I need about 35 minutes of the show dedicated to this storyline. Every show, every week for 4 years. 35 minutes minimum. You're like, okay. Yeah, it's incredible.
Question of the day. Seth Rollins beating Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
A, was it the right call? And B, did they do enough to still elevate Bronson Reed?
Yeah, they definitely did enough to elevate Bronson Reed. Yeah, I think it's the right call. Seth Rollins is still, one of their main made guys.
Still got to protect him.
You got to protect him. And Bronson, is great. He's a monster, but is Bronson Reed ever going to become the face of the company? Again, I think he does a lot. But Seth Rollins is just, he's one of your made men. He's a John Cena.
It's just so weird
guy.
For me to see them go at it because for the longest time I was hoping they were going to move Bronson Reed to Seth's muscle. Like I was hoping Seth and Bronson were going to kind of coexist. Because I loved that short amount of run that they put AOP with Seth.
Yeah.
I thought they were all wearing suits like that. I love that part, and I was kind of seeing that. But it was right, especially now that we saw that they threw Seth into number one contenders Fatal 4-Way on Raw. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But as we can tell, this storyline is far from over.
Far from over.
Was it the right call to get Liv over Nia? They did throw a kerfuffle in there, so it wasn't a clean win.
Right.
It was definitely chaos, wrestling chaos at its finest.
Yeah, because I think Liv is having one of the best years in wrestling a female wrestler's ever had.
Yes.
You keep putting gas on the fire, I think is what you do when it comes to Liv Morgan. And Nia's a beast. Nia's great. What did Nia won?
Queen of the Ring.
Right.
Yeah.
So
she didn't need this. Yeah.
She don't need this. Right. So I think I thought about that earlier. I think maybe we could have seen that coming.
Who's the reigning women's Royal Rumble champ? Is it Bayley?
Who? What?
Who's Bayley? I had to remind myself who won the women's Royal Rumble last year.
It was Bayley.
Yeah, I did think about it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's
and
just
she
crazy.
deserved it. I mean, Bayley's incredible.
Oh, no doubt.
My attitude on Bayley has changed a lot because she's been so consistent for so long.
I do love the slow burn they're doing too with the heat with Naomi and Bayley. Like they're friends, they're friendly, but they both have that eye on the prize, and eventually it's going to come in between them.
And eventually it's going to be Naomi.
I got to give her a run, man. She has been nothing but solid. Before she left, people are forgetting that tag team with her and Mercedes was phenomenal.
Yeah,
they just weren't given any opportunities because the women's tag team was just an afterthought at that point. And so those two together were fire. And now she's carrying that out. She had a great run in TNA. She's done nothing but greatness since she's gotten back. I would love to see Naomi run on SmackDown.
100%.
But Tiffy's in the mix now too, so that got fun.
Yeah, Tiffy's going to cash in and win.
Oh,
So
no
it's
doubt.
all
Well,
about-
this is her babyface turn
yeah,
because people want to pull for her because she's amazing in the ring.
yeah.
It's going to be fun to see how that daddy's girl, spoiled rich girl character evolves as a face.
Right.
Because then she's just going to have to be like, oh, I'm super athletic. So I'm excited to see her character work.
I see her cashing in on Naomi right after Naomi wins, and
That would suck. I mean, if it gives us a good feud, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
But that would suck for Naomi. LA Knight retains.
yeah, good, great. Oh man, that final move, dude. The way the match ended was very nice. Great job again. LA Knight is winning me over, man. He's bringing a whole different physicality than he was a year and a half ago to matches. He's just, and I think after his match with Roman Reigns,
Yeah. That's when you started.
I mean, I saw like a different. It just felt different after that match with Roman Reigns.
I got you. And then, the main event, Cody beats Gunther. Gunther shakes his hand.
Yeah.
Gave a great promo on Raw last night about how he and Ludwig have to be better.
Yeah.
Light a fire under a champion? Okay.
Yeah. No, and again, give it up for Gunther.
Yeah.
Elevating the World Heavyweight title, because when he goes out there and calls Cody a secondary champion, you're kind of looking at it like...
Is he?
Well, first, I mean, it's good that he's out there saying it, because you know what? Seth Rollins, when he was champion, you know what he was doing? This isn't the secondary champ. This isn't
I'm
the
out here
secondary
every
champion.
week.
So you know what Gunther's doing? He's going, you're the secondary champion, which is totally different than what Seth did, which was like, I'm going to prove that this isn't. I love what Gunther, he's totally legitimizing it. I mean, the World Heavyweight title really does mean something.
And it's just awesome, those two, because you know that those two are going to cross paths so many times.
Yeah.
Like, they are the two main guys in WWE right now and for the foreseeable future. So they are going to be intertwined. Especially, this is a good segue into news up top. Netflix executives wanted Cody, Roman, and CM Punk on Raw heading into Netflix.
Cody, Roman,
CM Punk.
and CM Punk on Monday Night Raw.
They want all those three guys on Monday Night Raw. And they somehow got to keep USA. WWE's always
Do they
never
want the
promised
exclusivity of them?
Yes, they want them to be Raw athletes. So it'll be interesting how they do.
So
I don't.
tough, man.
Well, WWE doesn't give in to stuff like that. They're like, we'll give you 2 of the 3.
Yeah, and they're going to be like, listen, we got to get them. They have to be on this other show.
We have other contracts.
Yeah.
And I think not that I want it to go back to the chaos where there's no lines drawn between SmackDown and Raw. We don't need that. But the main storylines crossing over and appearing on different things, I'm okay with.
I totally like it. It serves each show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bo Dallas vows Wyatt 6 are, quote, gonna take turns no one saw coming. And last night was they
kidnapped the Miz.
Yeah.
That was sick. I love that.
So,
I love that. And then they bring up this clip from the Miz talking to them years ago. I mean,
they're explaining the whys
love
so
it.
much better now.
We love it. Yeah.
Nothing's off limits. You know how Vince was like, don't talk about that. Don't bring it up.
Yeah.
Triple H is like, let's talk about it.
Yep.
Bring it up. It was great. I got goosebumps when Bo Dallas leaned in and was like, we weren't after Final Testament.
Right.
We were after you.
Yeah.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Goldberg announces his retirement match will happen in 2025 in WWE. It's got to be Gunther, right? Dolph Ziggler had a fun tweet.
I saw that.
It's a spear, jackknife, kick out, spear, 3 count. Done. I wrote it for you.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
one match.
I don't think it's one match.
Okay.
I think it ends up being a couple of matches. You say retirement match, and it's like, that's what you got to say on ESPN. That's the business term. Is, hey, here's what the contract is. Storyline takes a different turn.
Yeah.
I think Goldberg does Royal Rumble.
Okay.
But I mean, they steered away from having legends in the Royal Rumble the past few years. But again, Goldberg, hasn't wrestled since 22 when he wrestled Reigns at Elimination Chamber. So I could see him popping up in that. I could see a scenario where, Gunther loses the title before the Rumble. He's in the Rumble. Goldberg eliminates him, set up Goldberg, Gunther, Mania.
Okay. Yeah. And that's a good way to get him back in the Royal Rumble match when you don't have to expect that much from him.
And then you could have Brock Lesnar return, and because he's kind of involved in the whole.
You have sold me. We do have to have one final Goldberg Lesnar stare down.
I mean,
and I wouldn't mind. Like, I know we've been heavy on Gunther and Goldberg. I think we're missing the entire point here, and his final match should be him handing the baton to Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't know why we're so focused on Gunther.
Yeah.
Because Braun is his equivalent in WWE.
Yeah, and bro, if you're Braun Breaker and you hear that Goldberg's got one more match.
Yeah, I'd be lobbying for it.
Especially knowing the history. Oh, when you think about the story that can be told.
And doesn't Goldberg deserve to be put down by a spear?
Yeah. You've sold me. I don't know that it is Gunther then. Because you got Gunther, he's about to go to battle with Damian.
Yep. Yeah, and that's going to be great. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, man. Well, that's going to be great. And again, Damian's on a whole new wave of maybe this guy needs to be world champ again.
Yeah. He's been destroying people.
If you take Gunther out of there, but who do you give Gunther to next? But again, if you want him in the Rumble,
I think that's the way to go. Dip his toes back in. Doesn't expect a lot. Doesn't have to carry a whole match. You come in, you set up his feud, his retirement feud in the Rumble.
Yeah.
See you at Mania. Done deal.
Right.
Love it. First Raw on Netflix expected to come live from the Intuit Dome in LA because it is right down the street from Netflix's headquarters. Just makes too much sense.
I mean, it makes sense, but it's also what, they can't travel?
Their whole business plan is built on travel.
I mean,
you need to be near us for this first one.
The first one, can you just do it so that we can just Uber there and expense it?
Can't you see Netflix doing that, though?
Yeah.
But we want all of our executives
I'm
there.
into it. It's going to be great. I'm glad that's in LA, California.
I mean, if anything, it'll be a good intro to the non-wrestling fans.
Yeah.
So I'm here for it, to give them another bump in the arm, because as much as they were mainstream and in the very much so in pop culture for WrestleMania last year, I think they're going to double down this year, even more so. Yeah, because it's Vegas.
Yeah, and you sent me that great fantasy booking.
Oh yeah,
which I think actually ends up being.
I think we're getting a triple threat. I think we're getting Roman, Cody, Rock in some fashion triple threat at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
and I would love that other scenario to happen. Cena battling for the other belt.
I don't want that match in a triple threat though. I want Rock versus Roman. I want it family business. I want it to be, but they've downgraded.
But remember,
Roman,
SummerSlam is the first 2-night SummerSlam this year too.
Right.
So you can get Rock, Roman, and SummerSlam too, because they got to elevate.
That'd be huge.
They're trying to elevate. They want to go all out for their first 2-night SummerSlam. SummerSlam's going to feel like Mania this year.
They're going all out for that, and just Raw on Netflix.
2025 is going to be ridiculous.
It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be absolutely ridiculous here.
Well, Angel Garza's trying to get ready. He underwent wrist surgery. He's trying to get
better
back.
get ready.
No timetable on his. We got to talk about it. The releases: Indy Hartwell, Tegan Knox released outright. Baron Corbin told his contract would not be renewed.
Dang.
Do you think there's more coming? Or you think I saw rumors of Omos and Shinsuke, but I think that's just people talking.
Yeah, and no, I mean those guys are probably good on house shows.
And they don't need to use Omos all the time, so I don't think he's going anywhere.
Right.
I think they like.
No, I don't think there's more coming.
Yeah. I think they're content with this roster heading into Mania season.
Yeah.
And then they'll reassess after that.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, what was Tegan doing?
Exactly.
The big surprise to me was Indy, because she had just gotten on TV.
Right.
But they made a good point. If Candice LeRae is gonna line herself with Nia, Indy becomes redundant.
Exactly.
So that sucks. Carl Anderson has shoulder surgery.
Right.
I saw their name floating around on the could get cut list.
Get well soon. Get well soon.
I won't, for some reason, man. I don't know why. The Good Brothers never did anything for me in Raw. I loved them as part of the Bullet Club in New Japan, but I don't know why. But I need one final run of AJ Styles and the Good Brothers.
Yeah,
they complement each other so well. AJ is the perfect leader for those two guys who just don't need to talk.
Well, and we know that if hope AJ's resting up, but we do know that if he comes back, He'll be back in WWE. He'll be given a Legends contract, 100%. I mean, he is, and hopefully I could see him being like a GM or something at some point. Coming into being a manager, just doing something. I mean, he's incredible. I mean, AJ Styles is one of the greatest to ever do it. Yeah. So
I just hope we get one more run with all the guys.
I would love it.
You don't want to go out on injuries. No one wants to go out.
Not like that.
Kevin Nash on his podcast said he's due for an NXT appearance in December sometime.
Cool.
So that'll be cool to see. Big Daddy Cool in NXT.
We love
interacting with those guys. Rhea Ripley is dealing with that fractured orbital bone. That I saw the replay of when it happened. Yeah. Well, good news for the Raw women's division, really. I never want anyone to get hurt, but now they can switch things up a little bit.
Yeah, Charlotte's going to be coming back soon. Maybe Becky back soon.
You think?
I think the women's Rumble has
a lot of returns.
It wouldn't surprise me if
I heard Carmelo's on the possible return.
It wouldn't surprise me if Ronda comes back and actually has a meaningful run that isn't dictated by what Vince McMahon thinks.
Yeah, because her and Triple H are way more friendly than her.
And the business is just in a much healthier, better state. You got Cody Rhodes as the, locker room leader. It's fun to be a part of. Maybe she just doesn't want to do it. And I bet there's a bunch of people that are like, why are you even talking about Ronda? She was so bad. But I actually thought...
I think she's preggers.
For a while, she, her matches had some good hype.
I think she announced a pregnancy.
Yeah.
So I think that takes her out for the year at least.
Dude, yeah. But no, Charlotte should be coming back, and when that happens, put her,
the queen.
Give her the belt.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I feel bad for everybody because you ain't gonna be champion once Charlotte gets back.
NXT updates: Bully Ray teaming with Trick. They're amping up this NXT from ECW.
Yeah,
and I got a feeling Rob Van Dam's already said he's gonna be there. He just signed a new Legends deal. He re-upped his Legends deal with WWE. Talking about, I heard rumblings of Sandman. Francine confirmed she's going to be there. Tommy Dreamer will stop in for a little bit.
Nice.
Sabu might make an appearance. I wonder if Paulie intros the show.
Oh, like if he makes his little return.
Yeah, because we hadn't seen Mr.
We
Heyman.
Seen the wise man since he was put through that table.
So, what takes precedent here? He being the face of ECW, and they're having an ECW night in NXT. They've already printed out the shirts that has NXT in the ECW. I could see him
returning, and maybe again the Bloodline's reassembling. Paul Heyman returns on ECW. Next thing you know, everyone's like, it's only a matter of time before the wise man rejoins.
Here's what I hope happens. We talked about fantasy booking a little bit. I'm gonna drop something real quick. Paul Heyman intros the show. Welcome to NXT is ECW. They give him his flowers. He turns around. There's Jay and Jimmy. And they just go, done deal.
Yeah, I'll only get Jay and Jimmy on there. That'd be sick. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Who do you think steps up for Motor City Machine Guns? We had an interesting tweet from Montez Ford saying how he's a little
the Street Profits.
Frustrated about the stop-and-go-ness of the Street Profits push.
No, I think the Street Profits. God, I love the Street Profits.
Yeah, man.
That's a feud we all want, basically. So... book it, Triple H. Thank you.
Street Profits have done nothing but elevated their game. They got a good win over Pretty Deadly last week.
They've done nothing but elevate their game just time and time again. They're just great. Yeah.
How are we feeling about the KO Randy? We didn't talk about it, but that match didn't even get started. They just beat the mess out of each other.
How do we feel about it? I feel like...
Do you think Cody gets pulled into this? We get a little triple threat.
Yeah,
that could be a fun.
I think it's great. No, I think it's great. I like where they're going with it. I kind of like that it didn't really lead to a match, and they just kind of beat each other because you don't really want either of them to lose. You just wanted to keep going. We still got to see a fight between them,
and I love this ruthless KO. We turned KO into old KO.
Yeah.
KO didn't just become a bad guy again.
Yeah.
He felt betrayed by his best friends in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that turned him into old KO. So again, the storytelling.
Yeah.
A+ here.
They got good chemistry too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would love to see that triple threat at Royal Rumble.
KO,
Randy, Cody. Keep them occupied because I don't think any of those three are winning the Rumble. You could make a case for KO. But I think you can make a stronger case for other people.
KO winning the Rumble to challenge Cody's not going to... I mean, that's just not... God, I love
There's so many possibilities.
I
Like this
love
is the
KO,
first Royal
but I'm
Rumble
like-
that I don't know who's gonna win.
I mean, it's gonna have to be KO Mania.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what they're trying to build up right now? Is like KO Mania, but he's a heel. Like, how do you
I don't know, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know, dude. Is he? But that's I love when
He needs
when
to
the
have a
wrestlers are
mania
heels.
that revolves around him. I mean, he's had some great moments. The Stone Cold, the tag team title.
Yep.
You know, I don't know what he did. What did he do in LA? Oh, he was in the U.S. title match against
Logan Paul.
Randy. You know, so
And
that was
they trusted him to go up against Logan Paul early on.
yeah. So I mean, you know, he had two pretty big WrestleManias in a row, but there hasn't been one where it's been like, give this man the belt for.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe that is what they're building because, you know, Randy doesn't need another title run. Cody is now like doing a victory lap and he's like, seems to be in Triple H's ear, like, you know who we should, you know who we should, you know who we should. And I think right now, maybe they're all looking at like, dude, we got to create KO Mania. I hope that's what they're looking at right now.
I would be completely.
But he's a heel.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if that was the way they're headed, they'd make Randy and Cody the bad guy for sure. But I love the storyline because we're still under the assumption that Judgment Day are the bad guys.
Right.
When Rhea and Damian bullied them, they didn't want them around anymore.
Right.
I still don't understand how they got the good guys and they got the bad guys. So it's still blurred. So like all of this could be to turn KO face again.
It could be, yeah, totally. Because if Cody and Randy start beating up on KO by himself, all because KO's like, I've been fighting Roman for so long, and then I hoped you fight Roman, and now you teamed up with Roman, and now they're beating him up. It's like,
because is KO going to be mad at Sammy?
No,
Sammy's doing the same thing.
Right.
He just forgave Sammy because Sammy got away from him.
Oh, now we're about to have KO be mad.
Is KO going to be on Solo side now? Is that the fifth member on their War Games?
Ooh.
So so many different directions this could go. I loved the Usos, the face off on Raw. They're like, he is family.
Yeah.
Sammy Uso.
Yeah, that was great.
So I needed the Usos to be on camera again.
Together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Jay's great by himself. Jimmy's not so much.
I like Jimmy by himself.
Okay.
Jay, who I'm kind of like,
really?
what's going
not
on
sold.
here?
Okay.
I mean, Jay gets people hyped, but I think Jimmy's better on the mic.
I think Jimmy when Jimmy plays off of Sammy and Jay, that's when Jimmy's the best. So I think that's why I like all of them being around, because it does, to me, bring out the absolute best in Jimmy.
Yeah.
And it hides some of the faults of Jay.
Yeah.
Because Jay's still there. The promo still ain't the greatest.
Yeah, some stuff going on there.
So we get the meetup on Friday. You know, everyone going to talk. Everyone's going to be in the ring. So I guess Heyman kind of, it's perfect for him to come back. If he shows up on NXT and then shows up on SmackDown to be the wise man again to bring this group together.
Be great.
I can't wait to see a face Heyman. Hadn't seen a face Heyman win.
Right. No, totally. He's going to start wearing tan suits.
That would be great. Judgment Day. They're planting the seeds for Finn being done with this mess. We didn't see an update on Raw. They kind of kept them out of the... It was really just Liv, Raquel, and Dom. I don't even know if the rest of the Judgment Day went over to Saudi Arabia. I hadn't seen them.
I didn't see him.
But we got something to be said when Dom won his match 2 weeks ago and Finn didn't stick around. He took off. And JD kind of was like, "Where? I guess I got to go with him."
Mm-hmm.
So already showing some splinters. Are they raising Dom up so that can cause more friction between him and Finn?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they said there's no leaders in Judgment Day, but Finn wants to be the leader.
Yeah, and Dom's getting all this love, people love... Dom's the best right now. Dom's great. He got so much heat.
Io Sky won the #1 Contenders Battle Royal, so we get Io Sky and Liv. I think that's going to be a great match.
Probably what, Survivor Series?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, why not?
Yeah. I mean,
Liv's picking up enemies, though. Between, Bianca and Jade, and then... Damage Control, Liv. I mean, you're a mess, dude. You're a mess.
Great way to pivot, though, because with Rhea on the shelf, you're like, well, who's going to be Liv's foil now? And I still maintain, I've said it, and I'll say it again, Io is the best in-ring performer they got.
Yeah,
So might
she's
as well
great.
put some bangers and matches on while we're waiting for
great.
mommy to come back again, unfortunately. So again, we touched on it earlier, Wyatt 6, their new target's Miz. So that's interesting.
That's who they wanted all along, they said.
Who's going to help Miz? Because, I mean, you can't have a group against one person when that one person's the heel here.
I mean, maybe Final
Testament. Does this pull Final Testament?
Yeah, I mean, I think it does, yeah.
Okay. I needed that line. That line helped me so much with we weren't after Final Testament.
Yeah.
It was so good. Yeah. The writing is so good. Looks like we're getting a little American-made LWO beef.
Let's do
Gable, Mysterio. I think they can put on some good matches.
Yeah.
Kind of weird they're doing the heel group is the proud to be a
right.
But hey, way to put the finger on the pulse of the country, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, overly patriotic are the heels these days, which, you know, we've all seen those guys. Fatal 4-way for the number one contender for the WWE Championship. Seth versus Damian Priest versus Dirty Dom versus Sheamus. I like Sheamus got in there. You know, former world champion, got his respect he deserved.
Yeah, put him in the match. Damian Priest comes out on top.
Yeah.
Love to see it. I like Damian, dude. Put the top belt back on him.
This was a good way to reignite that Gunther Damian Priest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for that, for sure. Little tidbit here to end out our Raw segment. Adam Pearce wants to dedicate a whole Raw episode to New Day's 10-year anniversary. Interesting they want to dedicate a Raw when they're little troubled waters.
I know. No, I think they should do it because maybe that's what'll bring Kofi and Xavier back together, is looking back on the memories.
Because you know Big E will have to be there.
Yeah.
That'll be very good to see how the New Day's beef and the little wedge that's kind of in between them interact when Big E's there.
Yeah.
Because you know Big E ain't going to stand for that.
No.
But no, we get along here.
We get along. We're friends.
We're the New Day, bro.
We're friends.
We're friends.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Next week, we get Jade and Bianca versus Liv and Raquel.
Yeah.
Liv and Raquel are giving off Shawn Michaels Diesel vibes when they would win the titles and then go at it and then win the titles and then go at it and then be friends and then not be friends. So I hope they kind of pull the trigger on that.
Yeah, same.
I thought this was fun, man. I saw this little side note, little fun way to end our first episode in our new studio.
Amazing.
Chris Van Vliet released the top 10 most watched videos on WWE's YouTube page.
Okay.
We'll just do the top 3. Number 3 was stunning in-ring proposals. The WWE top 10.
Interesting. Okay.
It has 233 million views. Wow. I was trying to think. I got to go back and watch it because I watched the first little bit of it. I don't remember a lot.
Kane and Lita, was that one in there?
That was in there. Number 2, John Cena and The Rock versus Miz and R-Truth from Survivor Series 2011.
Wow.
240 million views.
Wow.
Wasn't that when John Cena and The Rock turned on each other? Or they had a match coming up already, but it didn't go well?
I think so, yeah.
And number 1, Randy Orton makes it personal with Triple H. 318 million views.
How is that the number one?
Number 1 video.
Something that happened a couple weeks ago. Unbelievable. Business is hotter than ever.
That's how you know. That's how you know it is booming right now.
Business is hotter than ever.
So how you feeling? What's your takeaways? Where you want this heading into Survivor Series?
Man, I'm feeling good. Well, you know, I like where we're headed as it goes into Survivor Series. I think, you know, it's in Vancouver. I think we see The Rock pop up. And I think this is potentially where it gets revealed that The Rock is on the other side.
Yeah.
Potentially.
It's got to be. We got to...
It's going to be Bloodline Civil War.
Everyone's been salivating for this.
Yeah.
The Rock has to show... Like, if The Rock doesn't show up at Survivor Series, what was the purpose of him showing up in the first place?
What was it? Yeah, why did he show up at Bad Blood?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know...
You show up at Bad Blood, but not for Survivor Series?
Yeah. So I think he shows up... And... yeah, I mean, where are we going with all this? You know, CM Punk, we haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. We haven't seen Drew McIntyre in a couple of weeks. I mean, like, those were the stories that were, you know, so it's like as we go into Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, you know, WrestleMania season, you know, and I think we just have to start looking at it like, yeah, I think WrestleMania and SummerSlam are now going to be, similar in caliber. 2 nights, massive, like what we don't get at WrestleMania, we might be getting at SummerSlam. And I like that. I like that, like, SummerSlam is now really at that level. But, dude, man, I just don't. I don't know. I don't see Cody losing the belt because he's so hot. I don't see really Liv losing the belt. She's so hot right now.
Yeah, and Io doesn't need the belt. She's had the belt.
So, I like where things are headed. It's just, as we go into Netflix, I mean, again, it's like, it's about to be the biggest year. Goldberg's retirement. Cena's retirement.
Styles has to come back at some point.
The Rock is likely going to be all over it. I mean, how can you not be? They're probably going to have other people come on. I mean,
they got more top guys now than ever. They got to keep happy too. You got to keep Drew McIntyre in the mix. You got to keep CM Punk in the mix. You got to keep Roman Reigns in the mix. Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins. So many top guys. They're for the first time in a long time. Like being a wrestling fan from like 2010 to 2020 was like, I need this one thing to happen. Mm-hmm. And if this one thing doesn't happen, the whole storyline sucks.
Yeah.
But now in 2024, we finally have it. And going into 2025, there's literally 7-8 people that could win the Royal Rumble that I'd be happy with, that you could justify.
It's so
and the storylines that could come from that. Like,
so dialed in.
I'm so excited to see how they handle Cena. I'm so excited to see how they handle Rock, Roman, Cody. So excited to see how they have made it a point to elevate these mid-card titles. The IC and US title is not on the back burner for the first time in a very long time.
Mm-hmm. Lesnar's probably going to come back in 2025.
We got so much going on, and there's so many ways.
Maybe that's Goldberg's last match. Just give him one more.
Yes, please do that. I mean, just Lesnar squash him. That's the only match I would ever pull for a Lesnar squash.
Like, and honestly, is that how you put? I know we were about to wrap up, but is that how you put Lesnar back over? Because I think the reality is most WWE fans are not like me, where I want Goldberg to have
a lot of people
match,
are like me and don't want Goldberg.
So I
don't want Goldberg or Lesnar.
So if he comes out there, but if Goldberg's out there cutting a promo about his last match and it's taking up TV time and it's Goldberg and people know that he almost killed the Undertaker and
you're falling asleep because he sucks on the mic,
and then you hear and then
I'm not gonna lie to you, I'd be hyped,
and then you'd be like, yes, Brock, take this. Yes, please take out. Please. I don't know. I just think it's
I think that's the only way
to bring Lesnar back.
I'd be on his side.
And to bring Lesnar back in a way that's like...
There's 2 people that Lesnar could destroy.
You're too old. You know what I mean? It'd be a great... Like, dude, you're too old, bro.
And we talk about the long-term storytelling. People are still salty about that WrestleMania match.
But they liked the WrestleMania match in Orlando they had. I mean, they're
just salty because they knew the WrestleMania match they were leaving. And you could tell midway through the match, both guys pretty much
But they did get to redeem themselves. It's like, do you bring it back and do it one more time? I don't know. Maybe.
People search for reasons to be mad. Yeah. And that's a lot of people's reason to be mad at both those guys. But I do like your idea that is a way to get people on Team Lesnar is have him destroy Bill Goldberg. Yes, please. Oh man, who do you want? Who's your superstar? Who's your when it's all said and done? Who do you want to be the MVP of 2025?
Oh man,
it doesn't necessarily have to be they had the longest title reigns or the most. Because you could make a case that Seth Rollins was the MVP of 2024.
Yeah,
he wasn't always in the top story. He wasn't always, but he carried a lot of stuff in 2024.
Mm-hmm. Who? I'm probably gonna have to go with man. Great question. I mean, I'd like for it to be Kevin Owens.
Same. That's who I was going to say. I want surprise number 2, Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
I want those 2 to have
But Kevin Owens first.
Yes, man. Please.
Putting in that work. It's time.
Please.
It's time.
He deserves it, man. My man is ready to go. He's got the ringing endorsements from all the legends. Just give it to him, man. Well, cool. Where can they find you, good buddy?
Bro, catch me out.
Catch me out in the streets.
I'm out here. No, I'm in Cleveland this weekend. Catch me in Chattanooga at the end of the month. Vermont, first weekend of December. EvanBurke.com. Check the albums. Twice removed on Spotify. Full special on the YouTube.
The YouTube.
Yeah, where can they find you?
Continue to check out Project Nerd. All their stuff. They sponsor this lovely weekly roundup that we do for you. Check out DrewHarrisonComedy.com for all things. And yeah, just keep watching that wrestling, man. The world's on fire. Might as well watch wrestling.
World's on fire, but we got a new set.
Hey!
So come on back. If not for us, for the set.
We'll see you next time.